I had the mic muted. I'm good at this. I'm I'm good at this. Hello. Hey, it's working. Wonderful. Hello. How's everybody doing? How's things? How's life? How's your rest? How's your week been? Sorry to the people who are watching this on VOD, that I'm an idiot, and sorry to the people who are watching this live, having to listen to the air conditioner, but it is, I can tell you, entirely too hot in here. It's 25.5 degrees Celsius. Um, so that's gonna keep running, and unfortunately, you're gonna have to deal with it. Also, I think like this is a record for solar energy generation. I've generated 6.75 kilowatt hours today, which, considering that it's only three 400-watt panels, like my mental math said I the max I would about get was uh about 6 kilowatt hours. So the fact that I'm getting almost another kilowatt hour on top of that, pretty sweet. And I know that it is functionally prime meridian, or summer solstice, longest day of the year, etc. But damn, nice. That's actually enough to fully charge the battery. Although I have been using power all day. My systems, all three, like my main PC, my two NASs, and all three of these monitors have all been running off of it. And now I think my wife's laptop is running off it as well. I'm drawing 521 watts right now, and I basically have been all day. uh, Although the smart plug has stopped reporting. Love that. When did it stop reporting? It's useful for knowing more. It stopped last night at 6 p.m. exactly. Love it. Okay, let me. It's related, that one? Reconfigure. Yes. Right, wonderful. Hello Simon, and also hello Ish. Sorry I didn't actually say hello. How you doing? How's things? Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll see if that starts updating soon. Um, Hello. Shame you can't get like a Home Assistant device canary in case device drops out. Well, the thing is that the device is still working fine. Oh, and now I've reconfigured it. It is updated to 6.25 kilowatt hours since last night. But that also means that I need to change my solar costing like usage. 373.3. I would show you what I'm doing, but it's more effort than it's worth. So uh, plus 373.33. And save and deploy. Wonderful. Right, I can get back to this whole streaming thing. uh, I have a load of Node-RED automations that control a bunch of extra, well, automations, but mostly like data processing. Trying to do data processing in Home Assistant's like own automation stuff. I Nah. So I use Node-RED. In fact, I've shown it in a bunch of the smart home videos, but they have functions for the smart heating, and then functions for energy, and also functions for the bag cooler as well. So yeah, indeed-ish. Ish, do you mind? Ah. Oh yeah, hello. How's everybody doing? How's things? How's life? How's your evening? Oh yeah, um, I printed a thing for a little thing. So last week, last couple of weeks, it's within range. I was talking about this load cell, tiny little thing, and basically focus. As you press on it, a signal is generated in these wires, and then if you have the right little circuit board, like that, you end up getting a voltage out of it, and then you can basically measure weights. This is how most scales work, like my little drug scales, as I lovingly call them. Inside here is a little load cell, and as you push down on it, that bit of metal bends, and then by the magic of, well, really dark arts and diodes, that changes the voltage on either side, and hey presto, you get a weight reading out. The problem is that this, A, isn't very accurate, B, is really annoying to work with, and C, just kind of sucks. So I bought another one. I bought the bar style one, which is the more common. And fun fact, you don't just have to get them in like the large, like that long, kind of that thick 5 kilogram bars. You can get them as tiny, tiny little 100-gram ones. Look at that. It's so tiny. In fact, which side has the writing on it? Is that side? Yeah. So as you can see, hopefully, 100-gram. And what I've attached on either end is basically a way to attach it to the tool. So instead of having these pressure sensing resistors, which kind of suck, with a little knob on the end, you replace this bit with this bit. So this just slides on the end. I've got a pin that goes through the end and holds it in place. It works really well, which I'm really quite pleased with. So it just slots on the end. A pin goes through there. There's a sort of slot in that side. In fact, I can show you the pin. Just goes in like that, basically. And then that goes basically flush in there. And then this is the testing jig version, but the proper version will have a little dimple. And then this pushes down on your key press, and because it's straight, like because this and this are lined up, you get no deflection forces. So as this moves, you can see it move. But as that moves up, it generates the signal to this board, and then hey presto, you have pressure readings. This flat one is to be able to use these sorts of little weights. So this is a 20-gram weight, so basically I can put that on there, and I should be able to measure 20 grams on that just fine. So yeah, I'm quite excited. I modeled that last night, printed it, and it's now real. Which is the amazing thing about 3D printing. And it's just so cute. Like it's smaller than my pinky, you know? It's adorable. Hello, Simon, and hello, Essentialist. How you guys doing? How's the eyesight? Getting better every day. It's pretty much back, give or take. I am gonna, in fact, I have a eye test booked for a couple weeks, and that will solidify the answer to how's the eyesight. Also, because these glasses haven't really been right for, I don't know, 1 to 2 years. Because your eyes tend to drift anyway, so, yeah. Yeah. You're home now. Wonderful. Hope you enjoyed your time. Apart from melting, you seem to be okay today. What hidden ailments are there hiding under the grimace? I mean, besides pain, because I am always in pain, I just can't get away from it. Did I tell you guys? Um, yeah, I think I said last week. I have hypermobility spectrum disorder, which is funny on many levels. Um, it means you can like bend your joints real far, and specifically my back. Like I can bend myself like a pretzel, and I don't feel a stretch in my lower back at all. In fact, I regularly sit at my desk with my knee to my chest, um, with no problem. Like both knees to my chest, no problem. I sit like cross-legged, but like the weird way. So yeah, I have, especially in my lower like half, I have a lot of hyperflexibility, and that causes a lot of pain. So I'm doing all the exercises my physio has suggested. Um, and yeah, I'm also the fun fact of the medication that three-letter medication that is still yet to be named is that especially when a certain internal chemical drops, which is a desired drop, you tend to get a bit depressed for a little while. That's definitely been happening this week. Today seems to be a little bit better though, so um, you're melting and I'm turning into an ice cube. Legit, it's gonna be 32 degrees up here on Saturday. Um, natural medicine now. It's not natural. It's changing my nature. um, and hello, be right. How you doing? How's things? Um, uh, I don't think doctors prescribe it, so I'm gonna go with no. It's not pharmacological. um, Sort of, yes. What we tend to do with medicines is if we find something that helps, we extract what the active ingredient is, and then we often synthesize, like create synthetically that um, that active ingredient. So while they do come from plants and animals and rocks and fungi, which are none of them, um, they're not manufactured with normally. Um, well, penicillin is yes, off grown. um, but yeah. Yeah, yeah. Is Botox botulinum, or am I mixing words in my head? Fungi are plants despite what they reclassified them. um, well, Pluto's still a planet. Yeah. Wow, we had one message. Oh, so thoughtful. Thanks. I don't I don't really get that. I mean, I don't care. But I just, do you not have anything else better to do with your time? Like, is your life not worth, you know, living and doing something enjoy? I guess you enjoy it. Weird. Anyway. I doubt the answer is yes, but has anyone watched the 2-hour Gamers Nexus video that came out earlier today about tariffs? Because I've watched I think about half of it. I watched up to Corsair basically, and I I do feel sorry for what those over the pond are having to deal with. Not yet, it's on my list. I mean, fair enough, it is a 2-hour long video. And as the you know, as someone who gets to, you know, work from home and mostly sit at a computer, like writing scripts and like testing stuff and whatnot, you know, I have the luxury of being able to like have videos playing in the background. I get that not everyone has that benefit. Yeah. Thank you, Ish. And fair enough, essentialist. Oh god, I've already drank half my water. Jesus. Yikes. I have actually been playing a video game for the first time in a while. It turns out that it's actually kind of an old video game. It's 3 or 4 years old. But the fun fact is that it's basically just VS Code reskinned. It's a Electron app, but it also is just VS Code reskinned, which is great. And the interesting thing for me is, so it's called Bitburner. It's a sort of hacker style game, but you actually do write real JavaScript code. It's not necessarily a learning game, although I suppose you can use it to learn. And yeah, it's the right balance of being an idle clicker game and being what you call it, you know, making me feel smart for already knowing JavaScript. So yeah, it's pretty good fun. It has a really interesting like sort of prestige mechanic with augmentations, which when you install them, you get, you like essentially start again, but with all the scripts that you've written still saved, and like your home computer stays as it is, but you lose all your money, all of your hacking tools, what else? Your stocks, because there's stocks, and so yeah, it's pretty interesting, and it's remarkably like deep as a game. And there's been a bunch of updates apparently that have changed a lot of how the like mechanics work. So there you go. Yeah. Awake and asleep. Indeed. In this weather, it's more like nano sleep. Yes. Okay, fun fact. It's cheaper for me to go on a course to get certified, like F-gas certified, than it is for me to pay someone to install air conditioning. And that's really dangerous information. Especially because the actual installation part is the easy part. I just need to go on the course to be able to write the certificate that says it's been installed legally. Hello, B. How you doing? How's things? Have to find 2 hours to watch it. Steve is very passionate in things, to put it mildly. He is indeed. Although this one isn't quite as passionate as usual. It's just a lot of interviews with all the various companies. But yes, I'll be right. It's just gone off the screen. He is Steve from GN does a good job and can be so entertaining when he knows shit in video or the dodgy companies. Indeed. Steve did start a whole other channel. Well, I suppose they both have actually. Both Steves. The what you call it? The 2 hour video that GN posted was actually on their consumer advocacy channel. Anyway. So yeah, check out. And other Australian Steve, Hardware Unboxed, launched Monitors Unboxed. I think that's probably a couple of years ago now, but yeah, I think that's mostly Tim's channel. Part of the group, I suppose, but yes, yeah, hub and mub. Yes, indeedy. Much nicer weather here for us than over there for us. Yeah, it's a lot. It's quite a lot. It is still 27 degrees in my garden. Yeah, yeah. It's 26 degrees in my bedroom and 24 degrees in here, and that's only by the blessing of having the air conditioner on. And even then, the air conditioner, kind of dreadful because it's a portable unit, which means that it's drawing air in from the room, heating it up, and sending it out the window, and then blowing different air that it's cooled down at me, which is nice enough. Like it does, you know, it's reasonably cold. However, it heat soaks really, really badly. So after an hour or two of using it, not pleasant. And second, by drawing in air to cool it, the charge air basically, and then sending it out the window, what that's doing is drawing hot air from the rest of the house and around the window back in because there's a slight negative pressure in here. So that's great. That's why I want a proper mini split. I want to put it just above the panel, basically, just up there. But yeah, I need a license for that. It's kind of funny in the film The Gentleman, which is a great watch, highly recommend it. Matthew McConaughey and Charlie Hunnam? The guy from Sons of Anarchy. He one of the lines is that when Matthew McConaughey is describing Britain, he says that, you know, we don't like to do anything without a license here, which is really funny because besides like a driving license, you really don't need any other types of licenses. Whereas in America, you need business licenses and like doctor's license and I don't know, police license. There's a lot more licensing over there, which makes that line quite funny to me. Although you do often need to be registered for various stuff, but anyway. Went well below zero here overnight. I'm happy. I understand. I would prefer that to this madness, because at very least it's much easier to put heat into a room or a place or a house or a human, it's much harder to take the heat away. Yeah. At least you don't need a license to get a license, huh? True. My AC is currently heating my lounge to 24 degrees, and I'm still cold. The rest of the house is 12 degrees Celsius. He's Australian, not backwards. Charlie Hunnand, thank you. Her Unbox Steve does a good job of puncturing graphics card manufacturers' lines about 8 gig video cards. That's true as well, yeah. That is his repertoire. I want to see the peripherals unboxed and relax with the beer. Fair. I think 12 would be -20 or something. Give or take, anyway. -11. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for the conversion. Oh. I don't know whether it's the warm weather, cold weather, or what, but throat's been absolutely killing me recently. Oh. Oh yeah. I was looking at the charger. I've been wearing this Ultra Human Ring Air. I finally remember what it's called. So this is a smart ring. It's kind of a Fitbit but in a ring. I finally wrote the review for it today after 2 weeks of using it, because it takes 2 weeks for it to like gather enough data about you to, in theory, be accurate and whatnot. And so, got to give it a fair shake. But I wrote the script on it today. Yeah. If I'm being honest, and I almost always am, to a fault sometimes. Ask MSI. So when I say that this does what a Fitbit does, maybe slightly better in the sense that like it does skin temperature, blood oxygen, heart rate variation, and then heart rate and all that sort of stuff, sleep tracking, etc. But ostensibly it does the same sort of thing that a Fitbit does, or a smartwatch. And I don't know if you remember, probably a decade ago when Fitbits first came out, they were quite popular, right? Like people really, a thing that tracks, your sleep and your activity, and you only have to charge it once a week, and it's got all this data, and that's really cool. And it's like 50 quid. Amazing. I'll get one. And then they took it off after the first month to charge it, and then just forgot to put it back on and really didn't care. This is £330. Yeah. So anyway, I need to get some Aussie houses built there, because 30 degrees Celsius in most places isn't that bad, except at night. Your homes make it ovenish, which is just not fun. Well, yeah, the problem is that 150 years ago when this house was built, 30 degrees Celsius was an unattainably high, never going to get there temperature. And then something happened and the place kind of got warmer. And Yeah, now it's bad. Help me. Uh, so yeah. Uh, for context, it was 32 degrees Celsius in my garden today. So when it says 35 degrees or 32 degrees Celsius schedule like forecasted the weekend, that's going to be 36, 37, 38 degrees Celsius in the garden in the shade in Britain, where the best we have for air conditioning is noisy pricks like that. On the side note, I did fit a ceiling fan in our bedroom, nice big one. Oh my god, it's so nice. It was pretty easy to install. I put some wood blocks between the joists upstairs to properly support it rather than hanging it on the plasterboard. Actually, it's lath and plaster, so doubly no. And yeah, oh, so nice. Can we just use solar panels to create shade and also gain power from the Daystar? Yes, you absolutely could. Fun fact, so solar panels are about, well, actually, new solar panels are like 30-ish% efficient. And there was actually, I read an article about a new commercially available panel that's like 700 watts for this standard size of panel, which is about 2 meter by 1 meter, which is something like 35% efficient, which is incredible. So the 400-watt panels that I have are about 25% efficient, which means that there's about 1 kilowatt per square meter of energy that the sun is outputting. So yeah, if we could capture that entire kilowatt, that'd be pretty nice. Yeah. And that is all of the heat that the sun is at least getting to the ground. A lot of it is obviously dissipated by the air above the sun, above where we are, and obviously the atmosphere. Um, but yeah, yeah. Currently sat on the Severn beach watching loads of unfortunate people enter Wales on the bridge. Fair, nice. Stilts may be in flood areas, but I'm a mountain girl and our homes are different to the rest of Oz. Fair. Um, I did indeed get a hot dog. Nice. We can indeed no longer ice skate in the Thames for Christmas. Exactly. You wrote a whole script on that little thing. Don't you need to put it in a fire and read it back? um, Ha 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 ha. No, there's no way to interact with this thing. It is a dumb ring in terms of touching it, lights, whatever. Occasionally you do get the flashing from the scanner, but yeah. Um, how come all the Brits go to Costa del Sol or the Med or the Maldives, etc., chasing the sun only to melt when back home? Humidity and infrastructure. Humidity because Jesus, it's still pretty humid here despite being this hot. And two, the what do you call it? The fact that our houses do just trap the heat and build heat over the day. The fact that my bedroom is 26 degrees right now. Um, like yeah, that's why. Humidity is evil. I agree. Mind you, my girlfriend's house heating died last Thursday and will get replaced today, so I'll be over there tonight on a nice, warm, ducted, heated house. Nice. Fair. Um, very nice. Very scenic. Very scenic, Chris. Very nice indeed. I'm not on the bridge, but if I could help those poor souls, I would. Oh dear. I went from 64 gig of DDR5 6000 to 128 gig, but the max it'll run is 5200. But to be honest, I don't see much difference in the speed diff. I don't. I wouldn't expect much either. It depends what CPU you're running. Am I remembering right that it's Ryzen? Is it 7000? 9950X, right? Yeah. I doubt that there's that much performance difference. I did actually, in fact, I think it's tomorrow's video, if I remember rightly. Let me double check. No, Monday's video. Monday's video is testing Intel's Core Ultra 200 series with fast RAM, 8,000 mega transfer per second RAM versus 6,000, and Core, what's it called? The new boost feature, the 200S boost, I think. To see how much difference either of those make, and there is some difference, but that is also on Intel chips where RAM tends to make a lot more of a difference. And yeah, it just depends on what you are doing with your chip and if the capacity is worth it for you. Although if you say you're sending it back, fair enough. 96 gig of 6000 for Ryzen is the super duper sweet spot. Well, there you go. I own the game. Yeah, you don't. Bruh. Bruh. You don't need. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I have. Do I have 128 or do I have 64? This is the question. I have 64 in here. Do I have 128 in Overkill, or is that also 64? I probably should know these things, but I don't remember. Stay on dashboard. RAM. I have 64 gigs on Overkill. There you go. I'm using about 30% right now. 5% on Docker. Yeah. There you go. New game and don't have an X3D chip? Sacrilege! 96 gigs with that. One could run Chrome with multiple tabs. Maybe 3, yeah. Is X3D really all that? For gaming? Kinda, yeah. I mean, just seeing, benchmarks. Like, it does depend a bit on what GPU you have, because there's only so much more performance that a faster CPU can eke out of a GPU that can't keep up. But in the right circumstances, absolutely yes. The roads to get here were annoying. It's quicker to go 14 miles home than it is 9. I mean, that's pretty common. Google tends to do that, like route planning for you. So, yeah. Hello, John. How you doing, man? How's things? Good to have you. I am alive. I'm okay, sore as hell as always, and yeah. Yeah. My 5950 X3 is still in the box waiting for motherboard. Oh no! Multiple villages at 20 mile an hour with speed bumps. Ouch. Does it come with a built-in GPU? Yes? I think? Yes. Yes, it does. Christ. I got a 4080 Super, but to be honest, I'd rather game on a PS5. Fair enough. Whatever works, man. Whatever works. Most of my PCs either have 16 or 32. Only the main rig has 128 gig and server 1 terabyte. Fair. Why would they make a gaming chip and waste it on with a GPU? Because it's on the IO die. The magic of chiplets is that they can mix and match the parts pretty easily. So they're not really wasting space. That IO die goes on all of their chips. It's made with a different process node to the actual core dies. Sorry, there's pain shooting on my right shoulder and it really hurts. Oh, God. It's made with a different process node to the core dies, which means that they're not wasting a load of space on a high value process node. The last that I checked, it was 14 nanometer, but it's probably moved down to 7 nanometer now, especially if the iGPU is on there. But yeah, it's not N3, N4, N2, whatever the core dies are. It's at least a step up, and therefore a step cheaper. No more eye injections, just crippling pain and British food to deal with. Well, the fun fact about British food is that much like most of our culture, we just kind of stole everyone else's. So I had really big pasta tonight, like just physically large fusilli, which was really fun and beautiful. What did we have last night? What we call snacky dinner with like sort of chicken poppers, halloumi fries, and vegetable samosas. Quite a lot of thievery going on in that one. So yeah. But yeah, hopefully, both of my eyes have been fine so far. So, and yeah, in theory, I'm done with having my eyes explode. Theory? So, yeah. Main rig has 16 gigs of RAM and upgraded to 32, but I have a very specific kit of 3600 CL14 A data RAM that I can't find anywhere. Fair. I thought the X3, speaking of high pain, I thought the X3D was stacked caching, so it needs custom CCX. It does. So it does have one or up to one custom CCX with the 3D cache stacked on top. But the fact that it is the chiplet design means that AMD can put one 3D cache die, one regular die, and then the IO tile or the IO die, all separately, all potentially made with different process nodes, potentially made with different, architectures, etc. And they can mix and match kind of how they want. That's the magic of doing chiplets, as well as better yield and volume and pricing and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, kind of modular CPUs. Like, if you were to take the lid off of a Ryzen die, you see 3 different chips under there. Or up to 3 different chips under there. On a desktop chip, anyway. Up to 2 CCXs, core dies, and then the IO tile. And the IO tile is what has the iGPU on it, if I remember rightly, anyway. So yeah. My Italian housemate made carbonara today. So good. Nice. I don't think I've been to Italy yet. At some point. Intel do have semi-modularity, but they keep changing it and making it worse. And they also need arguably more what you call it? Come on, brain. More work to change the die because they use their Foveros packaging technique, which means they have a base tile much higher. Fucking so much pain. They have a base tile which has some interconnects, like no logic built in, but interconnects, and so in theory they need to redesign the base tile for each sort of chip style. Which is more silicon to be made rather than AMD's method, which just uses different, or potentially even the same, like PCBs basically, and PCBs are likely easier for them to manufacture. Oh. Cultural appropriation, maybe. Indeed. I've been to Venice right at the end of the season when it was last hot. Canals stopped smelling, there were fewer tourists, and no flooding at the time. It was nice. Nice. And if you're going to redesign the base tile, why not change the number of pins and need a new motherboard? Yes, that is the Intel way of doing things, indeed. Yes. 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 That is the thing, you can buy an AMD motherboard today and be relatively confident that you will be able to upgrade CPU in probably 5 years' time to a brand new chip. But not... if you buy an Intel board today, there's no guarantee that even the next generation of chips will work in it. Like... who knows? Not Intel. Less chance of upgrading my beloved Threadripper. That's true. You have a first gen Threadripper as well, don't you? A 1920X, do I remember rightly? Because my Overkill server is a 2970WX. The 24 core second gen. Wouldn't it make sense for motherboard makers to solder a 1TB SSD on it, or am I thinking stupid? I think motherboard vendors feel that users value the upgradability, repairability, and sort of control of not having like storage built in. So yeah. Yeah, first gen with Numa fun RAM split between CCXs. Ah, yes. I remember Wendell talking about that. Apple would like a word. Well, that's the thing. Apple have even realized that's not a great idea and have started using removable SSDs. Now, what I should really say is they've used removable NAND flash. The SSD controller is actually on the chip itself, so you know. But yeah. Yes, AMD are still making new AM4 chips. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Like, I mean, fair enough if there's still a market. I assume that it's probably the Asian market that's driving that demand, but if they're making money from it, who am I to judge? It is just weird. Not something we're perhaps used to. They still cost like $1 million each though. Oh yeah, no, it's ridiculous. There is actually an upgrade kit for the new Mac Minis and new MacBook Pros and stuff. Someone who's fully reverse engineered the the drive, like the NAND flash pack, basically, and you can drop in an upgrade for fractions of the cost of Apple's upgrade. It does suck. You need to wipe the drive because you're replacing the flash, so the encryption goes with the old one, but still. If you buy a new one and buy the upgrade kit, it's worlds cheaper than buying from Apple directly. Still hearing rumors the new Threadripper having X3D. No idea how, but if true, wow. Well, I mean, there are already Epic chips that have X3D, so I would be I wouldn't be that surprised to find out that Threadripper is going to have X3D as well. I assume they will change at some point. They'll probably think that 10,080 is stupid and rename to something else. But then again, I kind of thought that they wouldn't go for 1,000, 1080s, but here we are. I really don't know what AMD are going to do next gen. Who knows? I'm fine with SBC or mini computers, single board computer, or mini computers being soldered for less than $200 a unit. Less so Apple for over 2,000. Yeah, I mean for SBCs, I don't think I've really ever questioned RAM, like upgradability, and I mean storage is normally generally upgradable, but RAM, I've not really questioned it, but yeah. B, that would be nice. More VRAM, more better. Sorry, John, I missed your message. Wow, I'm crashing. Lots of people looking at 5060 Ti with 8 PCIe lanes will have PCIe 3 based systems, 8700K and 5700 X3D in my case. Any first-hand info on performance loss with PCIe 3 versus 4 and 5? I would actually argue potentially a bit. I did Harbor and Box did something similar, but not really to the point. So I'm still waiting for credible testing. Yeah, I mean, uh, I what was I promised? I think I was definitely promised both of the AMD cards that haven't shown up. I can ask if I can get a 5060 Ti, and then I can do that testing. Um, ow. Unfortunately, I do still get headaches quite a lot. Uh, Ow. Um, directly competing with the 5080 Super, which should be quite nice for Team Red. Nice. I mean, especially in if it is sort of price matched and then has that much VRAM. Um, I know quite a few people who will be interested in that. Jesus, that's a lot of money. Ah, Christ. I think everything tends to be quite expensive down there, doesn't it? Wow. Isn't that a desktop workstation card? Wow. Nah. Yeah, Blackwell. RTX 6000 Blackwell. Yeah. Wendell was playing with one the other day. Check it out. Nice. Fair. Why not both? Yes, why not both? Well, actually, speaking of supercars, I did get I had a little bit of time. CB, I I went to a motorbike dealership and sat on a Yamaha Tenere 700, the bike that I've wanted for quite a while. It's nice. It's it's just the right sort of size and balance and oh, I do want to upgrade, like get my full license, but I don't know whether I should buy a bike to be able to ride around on, get used to riding again, maybe take a lesson or two, and then otherwise be good to go. And it's also like a T7 is like between 6 and 10 grand. It's a lot of money to spend on a, mostly a leisure vehicle. Like there are some use cases, mostly hospitals, hospital visits where having a motorbike would make it a lot easier because I wouldn't have to wait for parking. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm well aware that I've probably passed the midpoint ish. Don't you worry about that. No, I mean I'm waiting for health to improve a bit. I'm waiting for uh to to have a garage down the end of my road, which I think should be October time, hopefully. Um, yeah, yeah. Uh, yeah. Anyway, I am in lots of pain, so I'm gonna go. I hope you all have a wonderful week. I hope you all stay safe. I hope you all have fun. And I will see you next Thursday. And tomorrow and Monday for videos. Right. Hope you all have a good week. Hope you all stay safe. Hope you all have fun. And I'll see you next week.